Pretty quick and easy. Exercise 1F, we're moving away from elimination method, what linear equations are. We're moving away from worded problems, and instead we're moving on to transposing formulas, one of the sort of easier topics if you were to do this. And there's only like, what, one example or two examples I'm going to show, but really, straightforward exercise. Why is it used? Practice your algebra. Playing around with letters and pronumerals. These are the questions, copy them down. Unless you got your sheet, you got your little 5 sheet that you don't need to copy it down. Let's go. Oh. Yeah, literally substitution, subbing in values, and then transposing. Already done that, and we're just practicing. It's chapter 1 after all. Okay, let's move on. Now, example 14, it says, using the formula A equals pi r squared. Anyone know what that is again? What's pi r squared equal to? The area of a circle. Excellent. Okay, so it's the area of a circle, pi r squared. Find the value of A, correct to 2 decimal places, if r equals 2.3 and pi equals 3.142. Correct to 3 decimal places. So what I did was, we know that r equals 2.3. We know our formula is pi r squared. So instead of writing r, we're going to replace that with 2.3. So it's pi times 2.3 squared. Put in your calculator, you get 5.29. And you get your answer 16.619025514. But the question asks you to correct to 3 decimal places. If you did this in exam and you rounded, if you wrote your answer as 16.6190 or even just 61, or if you didn't round it off properly, that's wrong. Okay, I don't care if all these steps are correct. You get 1 mark for the steps, but then you'll probably lose the mark for correcting to decimal place. If it's a 1 mark question, you get 0. Okay? So read the question properly. If it says correct to 3 decimal places, give it to 3 decimal places. In our case, 3 decimal places would mean 1, 2, 3. And in order to make sure you round correctly, look at the next digit. If it's 5 or more, you round the last digit. Okay, in our case, it's a 0, so you don't need to round the 9. So you keep it as 9. Yes?
For instance, if the answer is the whole number of be like 16.000 or 16.
If the answer is whole number, yes. It will be a very strange answer, but yes, you would be required to write that. Yeah. But I don't think I'd do that just in case, but really, even if you wrote 16, I don't think they'll penalize you in the exams. But just to be safe, why not? It doesn't hurt. Okay. All right, and then you got your second part. So this is substitution. Next exercise, pretty straightforward. Transpose. Now, just in case some of you didn't understand this back in year 10, when they say make R the subject, what it really means is making R the subject means get it by itself. Okay, so what it means is you want R equals to something. That's rearranging as such that R is by itself. That's what it means by making R the subject. Okay, just in case you didn't know that. So, in our case, making R the subject means you get R by itself. Right now you got A equals pi times R squared. A is by itself. So right now we would call this A is the subject. This is A is the subject. What I want is I want it to be R. So the only way to do that is you get rid of the pi and you get rid of the square by inverse operations. So right now it's times pi. Inverse of times pi would have to be divide pi. And then it's inverse of squaring, square root. Good. So you follow on, you say, all right, well, divide both sides by pi. So I'm going to say divide this by pi, divide this side by pi. Pi divided by pi is 1. So 1 times r squared gives you r squared, and then a divided by pi is a on pi. Now, currently, you can just write your answer here. You can write r equals, then if you square root both sides, you get a over pi square root. Now, for methods, or normally, you would write your answer with a plus or minus. Okay? And then normally underneath it, you then say since r is greater than 0 because it's a length. But in this case, they haven't told you what r really represents. It says radius, but I guess if it said radius of a circle or it's a length of some type, then you know there can only be positive values. That's when then you say, since r is greater than 0, therefore r is equal to root of a on pi. And it's essential because that's your third mark when you're in the exam for methods in year 12. This would be key. Okay, because that shows that you understood that it could have been a plus or a minus answer. And given the situation, given the application type question, the context, you answer accordingly. Okay. Otherwise, if you just wrote that, then you're assuming, or they're assuming, that you only knew it to be positive and not have negative. Okay. Every time you square root, there's a plus and a negative to it. But because in our case, we're dealing with area cannot be negative, therefore it has to be positive, so you don't need to write it. Okay. But it's just something I'm saying in advance, just so that you're a bit more aware. Every time you square it, make sure to write those sort of notes. Okay. And then finally, B says, hence find the value of r correct to 3 decimal places. So now they give you what a is, they give you what pi is, and you've rearranged the equation to get r the subject. So you substitute a and pi, and you get your answers 2.79699702, but the question says correct to 3 decimal places. So if you left your answers that, you get it wrong. Read the question properly, answer it properly. It sounds very pedantic, but I'm telling you, every year when I mark my methods, it's strange. It says 2 decimal places. It says 1 decimal place, and no one reads it. I don't get it. I taught EBIS last year, and I had 60 of those kids. I don't understand why. It literally says 2 decimal places, or it says writing coordinates, and no one does it. It's weird. It's like you jump right to the question, you get all the correct answers, and the one thing you had to do was just make sure you answer correctly, and they didn't do it. Okay, so make sure to do it, because you'd lose a lot of marks. Every time you do it, you lose a mark there, so just stick to it. Okay? Just do it. So that's the correct answer. 2.797, and notice this is your 3 digits, but since 9 is greater than or equal to 5, therefore you increase the last digit by 1, that's why it's 7. So even if you get 1 digit off, that's still wrong. Okay, if you left it as 2.796, that's a wrong answer. Okay, not correct. Because then it assumes that you don't know how to round, and they'll penalize you for that. Okay? Other than that, that's a really easy exercise today. You only got about, what, 4 questions to do. And let's start off with just Exercise1F, just to chill. Okay? And then we'll get back into some difficult mathematics eventually. You lost the A5 sheet. I've got a few spares here.
Do you know what the VAT stands for?
Where?
In terms of science.
Yeah, that's most likely a physics. Yeah. Are they all? Hey, they are all actually formulas. How about that? Yeah, you're right. Even F, I believe F could be another physics one as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I forgot what H is though. That looks so familiar. I think that's. What's H again? I've seen that before. Is it? H.
It's the area of a circle with a curve behind it.
This one?
Oh no, let's see.
I don't know what the one is.
H, it's V. Long V.
I feel like it's face. I don't know actually. Oh well. I have no idea. I'm sure we can Google it and find out what the answer is.